Well, good evening. Just going to wait for a moment. And see who's joining. Hello. Hi, Connie. Oh, nice that you are joining me. Hello, Yolandi. Oh, nice evening, Pat. Sandy, Lorraine, Sky. Oh, there are a lot of people now. Well, I'm just going to head off. Hi, Monique. Hello, Ian. And, sorry, Sue. Jack. Hi, Natalia. Wow, there are a lot of people joining. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Shani. Okay, I'm just going to start off. Like the announcement said, I'm going to play with the jelly plate and the layering stencil. First, I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using. So I'm using the Peony Rose Stem Layering Stencil. That's this one. And the Nested Scallop Plain and Circles dies. And I was thinking, because I used the postcard on this one for the background, but I think it could be that I'm going to use this one too. But let's have a look and see where we end up. So at first, you wouldn't think to be using a layering stencil for on the jelly plate, because it's not the full layering stencil options you use. I'm just going to use 2 of the 6 stencils. I'm going to grab the stencils like here. I'm going to use the number 1 and the number 4. They give the best impressions on the jelly plate because you don't have to layer it, and it isn't a crisp image that is going to print, so no worries for the other ones. You're just going to put them aside, and I'm not going to use them tonight. So I'm going to first make the leaves, and I'm going to put it on the jelly plate. I'm going to use a round one, but you can use a square one or a bigger one, so don't worry about that. It just has to fit the flower and just a part of the stem, so you can see if this the jelly plate will be big enough. So let me show you. This is a very dirty one, but it has 2 sides, so you can see the flower will fit on here, and also the stem with the leaves. So I'm going to turn it over to the clean or almost clean side. I'm first going to use the stems. Hello, Maureen, Carol, Jenny. So many people already. You don't use the ultimate, and I'm going to show you how you can make sure you can find the spot again if you want to put on the next stencil. So I'm going to make sure that it is good on the jelly plate, and you can see here's an opening and here, and I'm going to take my shimmer paint. This is acrylic paint, and also a brush, and I'm going to take some paint, put it on my brush, and cover these pieces. It doesn't have to be a lot, because it won't be a crisp image. It's a bit romantic, vintage like, so don't worry if there is not a lot of paint on it. Never use the jelly plate. You don't have jelly plates. Well, not everyone has them, but I wanted to show it for the people who do have them, that there are more options. And the next thing is I have some paint left on my brush. And I'm going to go over the edges here. I'm going to take just a little bit more paint. And also here on the upper edge. The jelly plate is beautiful for backgrounds also, if you like it. Not everybody loves the jelly plate, but it gives some great backgrounds. They are never the same. So the next thing is I'm going to take this one off. And if you use acrylic paint on your stencils, you have to clean it. Let me put that one aside. I'm always cleaning it with acrylic paint. I always clean it immediately. If there is any ink on it, it doesn't mind, but the paint will stay on the stencil and it's harder to remove if you let it dry. So really easy, softly with a wet cloth, and it's okay. So let me put that one aside, like this. Here. You wanted to know more, yeah. So, well, the paint doesn't dry instantly on a jelly plate. So if you want to move ahead, then you can take a thin paper towel, put it on softly, and really don't press too hard, just real softly, and take off the excess. And then you can put on this stencil, or you can also, if you have some time left and you will do it in shifts, you can do it like this. This is already dry, and I did exactly the same on here. I put some ink on, some paint on here, and it's dry. And now I'm going to make sure the stencil is in the right position on top of the leaves. And I'm going to take the numbers, number 4, like this. And then I'm going to take my other acrylic paint, the fuchsia, and I put some on my brush and just go over it like this. If you have any questions, I'm going to look in between. Let's have a look. Yeah, it doesn't have to be covered all the way. I'm going to take this off, and you can see how beautiful it already looks. I'm going to clean my stencil right away. So, let's put that one over here. And I'm going to do this, the round one also, so you can see. Let's have a look. Yes, I'm going to make sure this one lines up also. And it should be like this. Hi Angie. Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it, Lorraine? It's really beautiful. And I'm also going to do this one. Just go over it like this. And you could use any other medium also. You could use pen pastels, but I wanted to use the acrylic Now you can see this one is softer. Give me a second. I'm going to scoop this one over here. This one is softer in color than the other one. I'm going to clean my stencil. Take off the excess paint. If you don't want to clean the stencil in between, you should put the stencil in between a wet cloth so it doesn't dry. Like the texture paste, I always put it in between a wet cloth so it doesn't dry. You can buy them everywhere. I think they have them on Create and Craft also. I think so. Okay, well, the next step is, this one is a bit thicker in paint. I'm going to let one dry just a bit more. And I'm going to take first this one. You need some white paint that covers right, but I'm going to use the mixed media gesso, and I'm going to put something on here first and then go over it. And I forgot one thing. If you're ready, take this positioning marks, take them off. I'm going to do that on the other one also. Ta-da. Just go over it with the brayer, and you see it takes a bit of the color from the rose, but that's beautiful both for the background. And let me take a piece of paper. Ta-da-da-da. And I'm going to put that one on top of the jelly plate, and I'm going to rub it gently to make sure all the paint will stick onto the paper. And let's have a sneak peek. Yay! Yes. And ta-ta-ta-ta! You have a background. So you can see the rose is still there, and the leaves are still there, and you can see the pink from what the brayer took while I did the white gesso on it. It gives it a beautiful pinkish background. So I'm going to do this one also, but it has too much paint still on it, and if I do it now it will take too much pink and then the background will be too pink for me. So I'm going to do this and take some excess paint off. This is beautiful also. And then putting the white gesso on it and go over it with the brayer, first like this, and then roll it and make sure the whole plate is covered with the white paint or gesso, the acrylic paint. Then I'm going to take the other sheet I took, I'm going to put the copy paper over it, because this piece of paper doesn't cover all the jelly plate, and you can see before it gets on your hands you can just put a paper over it and make sure you rub it like that. Just take it off and put this one aside, and let's have a look. Yeah. I love this one also. You can see the image is different from the other one, but they are still beautiful. So you can use this one on square card, or this one with a circle. So I'm going to my next step. This is very this is dried up very quickly, so you don't have to let it dry for hours or anything. That's the beautiful with the acrylic paint. You can move ahead with it. So I'm going to use the nested scalloped plain circle and dies. And let me take this one, my cute old cutter bag. I'm going to cut it for you. It's my very, very much used cutter bag. I'm going to cut the paper just a bit smaller to make sure it fits better. I don't see any comments anymore, so I'm going to try go back again because I don't see the comments anymore. I did have that last week also, so I'm sorry if I don't comment. So I'm going to cut the circle. Like this, and that will be the center of my card. And I did use the largest piece of the nested scalloped circles, the plain and scalloped them. So you can see that is the center of the card, and now I'm going to ink it before I forget it with the Victorian Velvet, just a distress ink. I'm just going to do the edge just real quick with my blending tool, adding a bit of a Victorian Velvet. That's a bit vintage color and it matches. So now I'm going to do the base of the card, and I'm using this one. This is the Art Deco petals stencil. It's still available. There are not a lot left. I hope you can still see me because I can't. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm stopping, but I'm just looking if I am still on air. Oh, thank you, Heidi. So, the Art Deco petals. I'm also using the distress ink. So, take some ink with your blending brush. And I'm not going to cover all the card. I'm just going to do one side and just go gently over it. Like this. Just a bit like this. It doesn't have to be covered evenly. Sorry, I really can't read anything anymore. It's a very pretty stencil. It's the Art Deco Petals stencil. It's still available in the shop at thatcraftplace.co.uk from Lisa Horton Crafts. So I think there were 5 left. Okay, now we have a part of the background that is done. And I want to give it a bit of a structure here. And I did use some other background stamp, but I'm going to use this one now. The new beautiful whitewash texture stamp. And you know the stamps will stick a bit. I'm just going to give a little tip. They will stick if you get them out of the packaging, and just like the back, it has to stick, but the front part, it's not always nice if that sticks. But just a little tip, I don't know if you know it, but for the people who don't know it, if you have an eraser, go over it like this. It's a big stamp. Go over it like this. And if you do that, let's see where my brush is. Oh, I'm going to brush the bits off that come off the eraser like this. Let's move that away. Then it doesn't stick as hard anymore, so you can use the stamp really good. The back part has to stick really good, so that's a good thing. Dankjewel, Monique. And now I want to add some texture over here. I'm going to take the stamp like this because it's a big stamp, and I'm going to just run it through my ink pad and just do it a bit like this. It's going to be partial covered. It will be covered for a big piece with the center piece, so don't worry. And you can see the stamp can be put back. Let's have a look. I'm back. No, I'm not. Okay, so I want to do the edges of the base card too. I hope I don't miss too much questions, but there are some people in the group maybe who can answer them, and I will be back later to read the questions. Oh, thank you. Yes, Diane, that's true, and it's really helpful because it doesn't stick as bad as it does when you take it out of the packaging. So, okay, the background from the roses. Yes, I'm going to use this one. This is an older one, the postcard background stamp, and this is one I think that it should not be missing in your stash, but this one is also sold out. I don't know if it will be back, but like that, really easy. So so you can see. Let's have a look. This has to dry a bit because of the acrylic paint. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be really clear. I'm going to add some, oh, there it is, double-sided tape. Like this. Oh, thank you, Natalia. Sometimes I'm just standing up to watch the video on the camera, so I can see some questions, not all, but hey. So let's have a look. Now I'm going to put this one in the center. like that, and there is the card. And I already cut some sentiments because I have a lot of cards with the sentiments already on it, but I think I will leave this open and put it on when I have to send it away. Let's have a look. I cut some sentiments from the Vintage Rose A4, A5 stamp, the new one that was on the show. So I have my little tin, and I think this is good like this. You can also add any other sentiments. You could use one of these: happy, hello, birthday, sending a big hug, and let's see, happy, smile, hello, I love you. I really sending a big hug or a huge hug, so I can grab them when I want to. So I will add these, I think, because you're amazing. I think someone can use this card. I'm going to do the edges again with the same color, the Victorian Velvet, because it blends in better than when it's white. And also I'm going to go over the because it will blend in better on the card. If it's too white, I don't like it. It's too, well, not with this card anyway. You can see it looks better like this. Well, let's stick them on. Let's just do that. Yeah, that's really, they come in handy when I have to do a quick card, and if I have a card without a sentiment, it's sometimes easier because every situation is different, and then I can quickly add the sentiment and send the card. Sometimes you think, oh, that card is really beautiful pardon, for that person, but you don't have the right sentiment on it. Well, if you make blanco cards for your stash, you can do it like this, just like this. You could also put them in the tin with foam tape already on it. That would be even quicker, but I didn't do that yet. But I'm going to do that, I think so. That would be very quick to take a card and send it when necessary. So, like that. Let's have a look. Yeah. Once you start, yeah. Oh, well, Sandy, you just have to play a bit with the jelly plate, because this is another way to use it, but you can also make real quick backgrounds for your projects. And let's see if I can do it really quickly for you, for anyone. And then I can show you how to use the jelly plate without the acrylic paint. And let's have a look. Let's take this one, the squeezed laminate, the distress oxide, just really quickly. Just go over it like this. And then with the picked raspberry, just put the ink on there, like this, and go over it with the brayer, and then you will blend it like this. And let's take a copy paper and do this. So you have a background, and now I will take the stamp. There it is. Yeah, the new background stamp, the whitewash texture. Oops. Let's take this one and let's have a look. I'm going to have to take my bigger acrylic block, but I don't have it near now. So you could do it like this, add the oxide to the stamp, the whitewash texture, and stamp it on here. So you can see it's really quick and easy, and you could even put on the vintage rose stamp on here, or the whitewash texture, or the striped one, or anything. So if you do that, you will have a beautiful background. Well, okay, this doesn't really match, but okay. But you can get the idea how about to use the jelly plate in a quick way and beautiful way with the background stamp, or make it just a little bit difficult, just a little bit, by using one of the layering stencils. So you can go anywhere, and it gives a real different type of card if you do it like this. So I want to thank you all for watching. I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to watch back the questions that you had, and I'm going to try to answer them tonight. The video will be uploaded to YouTube, and I think, let's see, it's Thursday. Dawn will be back with another live. I don't know what she's going to make. And Friday, Lisa will be back, I think so. And I will be back in 2 weeks. So make sure to join me then also. And thank you all for watching. I will put the photos of the card on the group tonight. And I'm going to wish you a really lovely evening. And thank you for watching. Goodbye.